you're new here, we have just bought this crash damaged Mini Cooper, John Cooper Works, and it has been crashed. Unfortunately, for the previous owner, it's in my hands now, and they have lost a hell of a amount of money. But let me show you what's wrong. So we have new bonnet, new bumper, new radiator. Let's not talk about that just yet, but yeah, as you can see, that is not good. We have cracks along the windscreen. We have airbag problems there and over there. And there's a couple of wiring issues like so. So the thing that I've worked is the Cat S structural damage is the most difficult part. If you get a Cat N and you get really unlucky where they've diagnosed it wrong, most of the time Cat N, it's just going to be bumpers, trim, stuff like that, which I don't mind doing that because it's easy bolt off, bolt on stuff. Whereas this, it's not very good. So what I'm trying to get to grips with is what I'm going to do first, and what there's that many things to do. I'm like, do I do the structural thing first? Do I do the interior first? Because obviously I've got loads of damaged bits still in the interior because I don't want to bin them just in case I need them for parts, part numbers, all that kind of stuff. So I'm kind of like in limbo on what to do. So what I'm going to do is get all the damaged stuff out of the back of the car. I'm going to, obviously because I don't have a workshop or a decent drive, I can't actually store them anywhere, so I'm going to have to like ram them in a shed and then hope that I can get them out in a few weeks maybe. So yeah, I'm going to get all the stuff out of the car, get the car cleansed, get out of it what we don't need, and then hopefully get it back together. So we're going to clear out all this so there's nothing left in the car, only the good stuff we need. So I think it's that and that which has got to stay on the car. I think the rest of it is either broken, damaged, or just crap. So let's get her out. Look who's turned up. Whee! I texted him, I was like, yo, working on the Mini, and he's turned up. So we've got most of this out. I've actually found a couple of brackets which are definitely going to help me because I don't need to look for part numbers now because they are there. So apart from like the drive shaft, I'm still going to keep, because it's only sitting in the bottom, I'm just going to leave these in here. I'm going to put the new bits in the back, so at least we've got the front section kind of free. So yeah, let's get all the bits out of there, stick them there. Right, so the boot is pretty much full of new good parts. My dad is going to go ham with the drill. Yeah. He's quite handy with a drill, to be fair.
Yeah, but mine,
old parts.
I'm just used to the Walt I ain't used to these Ryobis yet.
Yeah, but you like Milwaukee now, don't you?
Nah, DeWalt. Good old DeWalt.
Oh, where are you going for?
This spot here.
Oh, there, yeah.
Yeah. I haven't used these bits before, so I ain't got a clue what they're like. See, Ryobi don't work, look. That's it.
So the best way to kind of explain this is, I know it's going to sound mad, but it's the same as like building that. You have to make it look worse before it gets better. So even though this looks like, some people you might go, man, this is bodging, but in the real world and in the body shops and they are going to do exactly the same.
Yeah, you've got to clean all the area up to see what you're dealing with. Now we've found all the little spot welds, we can undo all the spot welds now, and hopefully this area, obviously we ain't going to be able to put it, but we can open it up and see what's going on inside. At the moment you've got 3 different crushed metals you're dealing with, so unless you start unpeeling this, you ain't getting nowhere at the minute. So number 1,
let's go. The little red dot if it's recording, isn't it? Right, so I'm going to try and drill straight in the middle. So there's one there. You've already done that one. You haven't actually gone through, which is good. So I don't want to go through, do I?
No, you don't. You want to take the. So basically, you want to take the printed weld off.
See, what was that? I'm done there. Right, so what we're doing here is we're just chopping this section. My dad said, why are we chopping all of this out just to replace this damaged bits? And he is right. Why not just cut a line, chop that out? So he is right in the sense of we just make a line and then we'll cut cut this out here where it's damaged, because literally from there onwards it's sound. And then obviously on the new part we could just go bang, straight line, cut it, and then obviously put them in together, weld that to that one. Happy days. So what we're doing now is we're just going to try and straighten this bit out, and then we'll look to potentially cutting this out at some point. How good does that cut though, Dad?
Yeah, it does cut really good, to be fair.
Was you expecting that?
No.
Right, so this is our current situation. So that was what it looked like. As you can see, go and pull it out. And that is currently what we're dealing with. So this still needs pulling out a bit, and then obviously we're going to have to cut underneath just to measure it up. Right, so this is where we're at. So underneath there is, it looks like there's a weld there and a weld there, and it's just literally, I think a bit of the tower, the bottom bit of the tower needs, to be fair, it looks like it took a little kiss there where my finger is, but it's this bit that's the problem. So it looks like we're gonna have to try and just pull this out to meet up with there, and then we should be gravy. I reckon then. Oh, yeah, Milwaukee. I knew I'd use it one day, Dad. I knew it.
Yeah, pretty good really, isn't it?
Yeah. Small, lightweight.
Yeah, easy to get into.
Look at that, man. Whoa, so many hours later, I didn't think this was going to be easy, but I didn't think it was going to be like the way it's turning out. So I just, like I say, I keep it real, and I wish it was quite simple where I could cut and go bang, we've slapped a new wing panel on, but I think this is, people think they watch certain big individuals smashing it with a big unit, with the right tools, with the right advice, but I'll tell you now, yeah, this is, does this, for God's sake, how am I supposed to video with all this noise going on? It's not looking good, man. Like, the more I look at it now, the more I go, yeah, this I'll show you now, because this is what I'm about. But yeah, look at this. Right, so as you saw in the last section of the video, we got this bit. So we cut this bit out. This bit's been like smoothened off because it did have a tiny little dimple here. But my dad's cut this bit out, which, yes, it was crumpled to hell because this bit was proper crumpled in. But the problem is, this bit's been cut now, and it does look, as you can see there's a little rivet hole, so it does look like it's layered, so there's like pieces to it. But when I look online, I can't see this corner. So the corner bit is an issue in itself. But then the second issue is, I only noticed this when I took this bracket off. It's like doubled up on itself, so where the bolt is, the bracket's not seen, so the bracket's flush there, and then if you can see there, it's like folded. Let's see if we can get the focus on it. You see how it's folded? I'm just using, I've used a slide hammer, but I've got to watch it because it's trying to tear it there. So giving it a good old whack with this. Got the slide hammer on it. I'm in, there's two things now. Either patchwork, which patchwork isn't even a thing. Right, there's a geezer behind me, and he just screams his head off all day. I don't have a clue why or how or what, anything, but he's just in the garden just screaming his head off. So yeah, if you can hear screaming, that's what it is. But yeah, let me show you. So we line this up. As you can see. It's sitting really nice, but look at the gaps. We are gapping quite bad. And the only way to do that is potentially I think this is what I'm telling you guys now, so you guys can potentially see this and go, oh, maybe this, maybe that. But I think worst case scenario and our only case scenario, I think this rabbit hole's going down. I think shock tower. I think we're gonna have to cut the wing support shock tower out. But to do that, engine's gonna have to come out. But the problem is, I've got no tax. I've got insurance, but I've got no MOT and tax, so I can't take it off the drive. So I don't actually know what I'm supposed to do with it, because obviously it's on my drive. If I put it on the road, I get fined. I don't know how I'm supposed to jack it up, get an engine crane and all that jazz. Yeah, so that is where we're at. So if you're thinking about buying a crash damaged car because you think you're going to be the next big YouTuber, it's not always going to be sunshines and rainbows, and I think that's what I kind of show, because it's like genuinely I thought we was going to chop this out today, and I thought we was going to slap it straight back in, and unfortunately it's not looking good, bruv.